So the winner's match is now going to be between Light and Shine, our third match of the day. We will see who will be the first Terran to advance to the next round. We have Shine, our Terran with Sparkies, and we have Light, our other Terran with MBC Game Hero. The map will be Zodiac, and I believe this is the first TVT we've seen on this map, this tournament so far, so it should be interesting to see what other of them do. Fighting. So our turn spawning at about 9 o'clock. We have Shine. And our blue turn spawning at 3 o'clock. We have Light. So I think these are actually nice spawns, because they are far enough away from each other that you can say that one spawn might be more advantageous than the other. And they both also will have the islands close by as well. Now, even though this map is a long spawn map, it'd be interesting to see if either of them would go for the factory opening before expanding. So we do see the depot going down for either player. We will be seeing the racks more than likely very shortly afterwards. And at that point we'll have to see how things deviate, if they do, or if they will both essentially follow the same opening build and deviate from there. So the depot done for Light as well as Shine. No, I'm not seeing any. Okay, so as you see, said SC1, so you got the racks for Light. Okay, perfect. Do we see one on Shine's side? And we see the gas as well, so it looks like it's going to be some factory opening. It doesn't look like Shine is actually okay, he is setting an SCV down. That might be potentially for scouting as well, because typically you will get the racks on the high ground, but it could also be, looks like a CC first. Okay, so it looks like Shine is planning to go for the economical advantage and hoping that it plays out in his favor. And honestly, it might very well do, because keep in mind that when Light goes to scout, regardless of which direction he goes to scout, he will not be scouting Shine first unless he decides to go cross map. So Shine will more than likely get away with this. Now we do see the factory started for Light, and there is an SCV going out as well, and there's a single SCV mining gas. So the SCV is more than likely going to get the CC, but it looks like it's going to be scouting for now. So I expect Light will probably make a vulture once the factory is done, just the usual stuff, get the CC, and potentially get the machine shop and go from there. We'll have to see how he reacts though once he sees that Shine will have the CC finished. Keep in mind, Shine's racks should be done, or almost done at this point, and the CC is finished too, so that by the time that Light gets there, he might get denied by the Marine, or might just decide to poke all the way in just to see. I do see the CC is down for Light, so at least he will try and play a catch up. But the first vulture is being made right now, so things seem to be on track with the usual. Racks is about halfway done, and the SCV is making its way across. Now, is there a Marine yet? Okay, looks like the Marine is not ready just yet. Oh, there is one there. But Light will get a complete scout of what's going on, and he's going to slip in the base as well, so he will see that the factory is not done yet. Considering the rust distance, I doubt that Light will just decide to go on the aggression. There's just too much of a distance to travel. So more than likely he's just going to try and get his macro going and go from there. Then the vulture can do a bit of damage, but there was, I believe, it was either a bunker or a depot early on that the SCV was making. Yeah, it looks like it was a bunker. So he should be safe from this vulture harass unless the light decides to just run it through, but typically pros won't do that, and there is enough of a choke there. So you can see, it looks like light with not risky. He's gonna prod the factory while his SCV makes its way inside. Second factory is coming up. Will we see an armory? And there is an armory about 440. Now the question is, what would Light's best response be at this point? He knows that economy-wise, Shine should have the advantage. In terms of... oh, and we do see a port coming in. That's interesting from Shine. And his army is almost done as well. So it looks like he's basically trying to match Light tech-wise. And I don't even believe we saw a port for Light just yet. So we'll have to wait and see when we get a look at his main. We see the army is almost done, and this is the 2-fact. Okay, so we don't see any port yet or anything. Now the store port can be extremely helpful for Shine, whether he's going to be making a CC and dropping units onto the island base, or he's going to be dropping to Light's main, or basically just with Raisha as well. We do see the control towers coming in as well. So it doesn't look like the racks actually saw the port. So Shine is keeping it in the dark, and Light does not know about it yet, and the Goliath will at least tell Light that an army is ready. Which leads to my next question, is if Light... So it looks like Light is actually planning to put on a bit of aggression. I wonder if he actually already has siege mode ready. And that's more than likely siege mode from Shine as well, because he realizes that, I mean, he hasn't gotten complete sky. We do see the dropship though. And looks like it actually picked up an SCV, so it's quite possible he's actually planning to build a CC in the island base to get up the 3-base eco. Now, while this is not a bad idea, this could potentially be risky as well. Now, siege is done for Light, but building a CC there could potentially be risky because Shine doesn't really know, or at least I don't believe he scanned Light's base just yet. But Light doesn't know about this either. This also could potentially be a spotter as well, just to spot for any incoming drops, or maybe get turrets up later in the game to help with blocking drops from that angle. So we'll see what the SCV is doing. Light does have a bit of a mini contain, so to speak, but the dropship does mean that Shine will be able to skirt around this and drop into Light's main. But Light is ready, and that's a nice tank there. I can only presume he will add more units. Now they both are up to 4 factories, and I believe, oh, and we see the 3rd CC coming in from Light on spot. This will get denied. I fully expect Light to cancel this. There you go. But the drop is scattered, but we do see the CC on point for Shine as well on the island base. So I think that will pay off dividends because, again, Light doesn't really have a port, at least from what we saw. I do expect him to get one eventually. Oh, that's some nice maneuvering on Light's part. Almost caught the dropship there, about halfway down, make it easier to snipe later on if it doesn't get repaired. So I do hear comps going off, I believe. Now one thing is Light does not want to lose that racks. Because oh, this is probably a bad idea by Shine. He should probably move back. Now he doesn't want to lose this racks because not only is it spotting for him, but if he loses he will have to rebuild again. We do see the eBay going up. So one thing that's fantastic in Shine's position, aside from the fact that he does have the economical advantage and his 3rd is actually done at this point, is the fact that he has he's starting to build up his dropship count. And what this means is that once his dropship count goes up bigger and gets bigger and bigger, it's going to be capable of more and dropping larger armies. On the other hand, I don't believe we saw a single drop from Light basically. And the way this map, we didn't see a single drop because I don't believe he's gotten the port just yet either. And what makes this even better is that for the map is because the map gives you the iron expansion, and it doesn't look like Light actually has the ports, and that is a nice vulture, is a nice scout from Light, so he will react to that instantly. He may even get these dropships potentially sniped. Oh, but this is a nice break from Shine's Spy. Doesn't look like I was expecting, so he will lose everything here. And this will put Shine in even better position because he's basically killed what, like 5 tanks there. He hasn't lost that much, and he's also, this allowed him to also even take his 4th because he can move a couple units up onto the high ground there. But yes, Light needs to build up his dropship count because that will help him maneuver around these tank lines. He does have his 3rd established. That is a nice win for him. We still see the 4 fact versus 4 fact. Oh, and looks like we get even more machine subs. That's interesting. So we still no port yet. Oh wow. Okay, so going up to 6 fact. So I'm interested to see what Light's strategy is. Honestly, is he planning to go for just to win all the frontal battles? Because the drops will help in terms of pulling armies away and just doing general damage. Even if we were to drop a couple of vultures, which become almost disposable once you use up their mines, it can just do a lot for pulling the army of the opponent in the wrong direction. Now this base is vulnerable. This base will more than likely die because Light has no defense here. He's going to lose a lot of his SCVs. He should just honestly withdraw because you can see all the SCVs are gone. And he Light should honestly just pull back here. The Goliath are not doing that great anyways. They're gonna die to all the tanks. Oh wow, and there's another 3 tanks on the bottom. So that CC is more than likely going to be lifted. This does put Sean in an even better position eco-wise. Oh, and the tanks. So what's the... I would love to know. So I'm seeing 0-0 on Sean, so he doesn't have the upgrades just yet. What are Light's upgrades? We did see his army spinning area on, so this upgrade should have finished. Okay, so 1-0 for Light. So he's up to 6 factories. Looks like he's more and more tanks. So maybe it's gonna be something like... So it looks like he might be going heavier tank count, basically. But again, because of the control that Shine has on the game, looks like he's going to get further ahead. He's taking his 4th base. This also does mean he can potentially take a 6th base. Now this tank on the bottom is dead. So Light is re-establish this, but at what cost, right? Like, it's true that Shine did lose a lot of his army too in the drop. But there was a lot of SCVs killed, a lot of mining that was delayed. Light lost his own army as well. I can't say it's the most equivalent because we didn't see fully how many he lost, but you can kind of see there's a huge amount of army that Shrine has, and I think it might be a little too late for Light to play the catch-up game from the dropship position in terms of getting the dropships up. He will need to do, the double pour just to try and keep up, or at least make them one at a time to make sure they don't die. Now there is a huge drop coming in, but this does get scouted, so Light is ready. And I don't know about this. I don't think Shrine should risk it. But you can see this essentially stifles Light's movement around the map. The CC does have to get repaired here though, otherwise he doesn't want to lose that, but I'm sure he must know about it. So science facility, the 5th CC is being built, and there was a 4th built on location. And wow, we're up to 7 dropships. If this drop ends up getting into Light's main, it's gonna do massive damage. But it looks like Light wants to prevent this base from going up. He does have the did have the upgrade advantage. And it looks like the army will skirt just around. He will see this with the eBay, but the thing is, everything's out of position. If he drops here, this is going to be extremely bad for Light. You can see he's even moving all his SCVs to try and snipe this. Now, a dropship is lost, but there's going to be extreme damage. And once the once the depots are killed here, this will also put Light in a bad position because he will also be supply block. Now Light does have a bit of a mini, so to speak, container because he has some tanks coming from the top and the bottom, but he is also losing a lot of SCVs trying to break this, and that's not what you want to be doing, especially when the game is 14 minutes in and the opponent already has the economical advantage. You don't want to keep losing your units. Of course, this means that Shine will be losing this base, but honestly, he has a 3 base eco already. And lifting this base up is not the end of the world for him. On the other hand, Light has had to stop mine from one of his bases. He could lose his armor here, which would be pretty big. On the hand, it doesn't even look like Shine has even lost a single SCV yet. But Light has lost something like 7 depots and armory. He's had to get his CC lifted. So it's one. So they are matched in upgrades now. So Shine is in a fantastic position, and his fourth on the left-hand side, just near his main there, is starting to mine, and he's trying to make sure that he denies any other bases. So my own thought is that honestly, Light should have probably gotten a port or tried to do something regarding the harass, because that island base is paying off so much for Shine. Yeah, it's crazy. Like 2 to 3 vultures would have killed a lot of their SCVs. Now this is a nice break for Light, so trying to push towards the center, and this obviously because Shine has dropped a lot of his units inside. He might not have as much back at home, but I still don't think this is gonna work out well for Light. You see the GG. So Light calls it. Looks like Shine will be our first parent to advance to the next round. We'll see if Light will also advance in the finals match. Well played from Shine. Well played from Shine.